Hello, friends. I'm so excited. Aren't you excited, Torcia? Oh, my little pup. We are so excited to share with you Casey and Dash, a story that I wrote inspired by Leslie Bell's cat, Golden. I decided to title it Casey and Dash rather than Golden and Torcia. I chose C for, I wonder, cat for cat, and D for dog for Dash. The illustrations of this story I did working on my art skills. Are they perfect? Well, I think they're okay. It's all about the journey. And let's hope that maybe they will inspire other people to give it a try. Casey is comfortably cuddling in her cozy bed when she hears the sliding door open. Oh, alert and aware, she sniffs. Spring scents tickle her nose. There's no time to waste, she thinks, sauntering to the door. Peeking out, she decides it's time to explore. Seconds later, she feels warm sunshine on her black coat. From the corner of her eye, she spots a chirping chickadee, whoop, that seems to be saying, "Come follow me." Casey takes the challenge. She bounces closer to the feathered friend, but it disappears over the hedge. I'll just follow the chirps and go under, Casey thinks, slinking close to the ground, seeing the light at the end of a branch and leaf tunnel. Poking her head out of the bush, Casey sees a cleared path surrounded by a forest of tall trees, moss, and ferns. In the distance, she can hear the alluring tweets. Behind her, she hears a voice frantically calling, "Casey! Casey! Where are you?" She stops and sits. She slowly looks over her shoulder. Then stands, stretches, and strolls forward, repeating to herself, "Why is he calling me? This is my moment to run free. I'll scoot, scamper, and scurry. It's time to have fun, not worry." From the corner of her eye, Casey catches sight of two tweeting sparrows and follows their flight through the forest. She ignores the call of her name and thinks, "I'll scoot, scamper, and scurry. It's time to have fun, not worry." And I think you can tell what kind of animal she is. Meanwhile, several streets over, in this tiny seaside village, Dash snores as she dozes. Burrowing deep in her cushy bed, her ears perk up when she hears the back door open. Kind of looks a little bit like Casey, doesn't she? Instantly, her head pops up and she keenly sniffs. It's time, she thinks, leaping up and trotting toward freedom. Bouncing out of the doorway, she leaps, then races around the yard. She halts in the far corner, intently snuffling the roots of a tall spruce. Moments later, she squats and pees. She runs a full circle around the yard, then takes a flying leap over the back hedge into the trail-lined forest. Well, I think she acts a little bit different than Casey. Can you think of all the ways that she acts different than Casey? Overwhelmed by the new scents, with nose to the ground, Dash voraciously vacuums up the new smells. In a few minutes, Dash looks up, snorting and scanning for exciting new leads. Her ears perk up at the voice yelling her name. Dash, Dashy, come home, girl, Dash, come, girl. I wonder, do you think Dash is going to go to her owner? Dash's head pivots right, then left. Cocking her head, she thinks, why is that silly human calling me? This is my moment to sniff and run free. I'll find sticks, jump and run. It's the time to discover and have fun. Does your dog do that? Cock their head to one side? She shakes her whole body, then continues exploring the forest floor. Dash sees a bright light beyond the forest edge. She stops to breathe a briny scent while listening to a rhythmic whoosh of water. Curious, Dash trots forward, reaching the open beach. She stops, astounded by the endless sandy shore and rolling waves. Then she races to the shoreline. Ignoring the call of her name, Dash thinks, why is that silly human calling me? This is my moment to sniff and run free. Dash spots a starfish and looks down. She gives it a quick sniff, shakes her head, then darts in a zigzag pattern, smelling seaweed and kelp-covered tumbled rocks and chewing on washed-up minnows. Seeing the rolling tides, she scampers to cautiously dip her paws in the shallow, receding water. Dash thinks, this is the most exciting meal I've ever had. In time, she's tired and thirsty. She looks up and around, smelling the air. Where is that silly human? Dash spots a driftwood hut a few feet from the water's edge. She runs up and under the structure, finding a shady spot where she curls up and closes her eyes. Wonder if she's going to find Casey. Up the beach, Casey pokes her head out of the forest. She looks out and sees endless, soft, yummy sand, like the box back home, but bigger. The long shoreline of crashing waves seems scary, so Casey chooses to hunt mice and birds in the beach grass and shrubs. Hunger pains and thirst rumble in Casey's tummy. She's tired, hot, and her home is nowhere near. Seeing a driftwood structure, she cautiously creeps over. Casey peers in. The hut appears empty, so she's tired, so tired that she plops in the shade at the entry. The rhythm of the rolling waves lulls Casey into a deep sleep. Casey wakes when the tide approaches. And do you know, friends, when cats are lost or they don't know where they are, they tend to hide. If you ever lose your cat, remember, cats like to hide when they don't know where they are. Panicking, she stands and backs up onto a log to avoid the rising water. She meows, meow. Her heart races as she spies an out-of-control, prancing and playful black and white shape that's swinging a stick. Casey senses immediate danger and arches her back, staring at this wild creature. Do you predict they might have a fight? Dash quickly stands. They stare. They sniff snouts. They look similar, but instinct tells them they're different. What will they do? Dash nudges Casey. Casey hisses and stares. Dash crouches and playfully barks. Casey stands still. She then stares at the imposing water. Dash cautiously approaches and smells Casey's tail. Casey smells Dash's leg. Dash slowly walks around and licks Casey's head. Casey purrs, then meows, meow, seeing the approaching water. Maybe she's telling Dash, I'm scared. Dash nudges the side of Casey's body, directing her to scoop through the seawater puddles. Casey follows Dash up the hill to the park bench. Dash pushes cold and wet Casey to jump up on the bench. Dash follows, then snuggles around Casey. They watch the sun setting. I guess they were out all afternoon. Casey grooms Dash while thinking, where is that silly human? Their heads pop up with perked ears when they hear their names being called. Dash and Casey rub heads, then both hop off the bench, each thinking, it's time to go where I hear my name. It's fun being wild, but now it's time to be tame. It's time to go back to where I'm fed. I can't wait to snuggle in my cozy bed. I wonder if Casey's maybe thanking Dash for helping her. And dear friends, at the back, there are all kinds of links to do your own research and compare the differences between cats and dogs, particularly Boston Terriers and Tuxedo cats that look very similar, but they are different. Look at this cat's long tail. Boston Terriers hardly have a tail. I hope you enjoyed this book inspired by Torsia and Golden, Casey and Dash. Cats and dogs can be friends.